Welcome to the session number 5 of OAuth with Access Manager. In our previous session, we understand that we learned that how to use Access Manager to get the access token using authorization code. And we have seen that access token comes with some expiration period. And the token can expire, and once the token is expired, it is of no use. So in order to get a new token, the user has to do the same process again, the two-step process where the user has to get the code first and then the exchange the code for token. Uh, this raises a problem of logging in again. So if a user is logged in and did all this process, he need to log in again. This problem can be solved using something called refresh token. Okay, refresh token is another kind of token. So if this kind of feature is enabled, what happens that when access manager provides the access token, it also provides another token which is called refresh token. Refresh token is basically a token with a longer life period, and the access token is a token with a shorter life period. So generally access token life period is although configurable, but generally it's good to keep somewhere around one hour or 2 hour, something like that. But the refresh token, you can keep it for a longer period, like 1 day or 2 days or 3 days, something like that. uh, so the idea is whenever the client application sees that either access token is expired or it is going to expire, what it does, it uh, send the refresh token to access manager and IDP of access manager and get a new pair of access token and the refresh token, and this process continues. Now uh, we are going to see how to use the Let's OAuth to refresh the token. Uh, Refresh the token means how to use the refresh token to get a new pair of access token and refresh token. So to do that, the first thing what we need to do, we need to go to the client application. So go and check the client application. So if you see the client application, the token type is only code and access token. So what we need to do, we need to add the feature of refreshing the token. To do that, go to okay, okay. You need to click on edit, and then you can see the token types. The action is refresh token. So click on the refresh token. Once you do that, we can use the feature of the token refreshment, you can say. So once you have selected the reference token, go ahead and the modify client. Okay. Client is modified, but that information need to go to the server, identity server. So update the IDP server. Okay, so the IDP server is updated. Now what we are going to do, we are going to use the authorization code flow to see what change happened with the way the access manager was providing the token. So I will use the Let's OAuth and use the first case get authorization code, use the client ID, resource server be the identity provider, redirect to URI, one, scope profile plus email state new state and press the send button. You will get a login form. Authenticate the user here. Once you authenticate the user, you are going to get the new code. Copy this code. I will paste this information here. This is our new code, and we'll use the step 2 now. We provide the client ID and client secret. Resource server identity provider, redirect URI, and code is the authorization code. Make sure when you select this, you should not put any space or anything, because any change in extra character can make your authorization code fail. So sometime while copying, some mistake happens that you will copy like this and there will be one space will go and that space will create problem here. Okay, so this is to get the token. So when you basically ask for the token, I don't remember, I said that before, the grant type is authorization underscore code and it is already there in the form. You need not to change this value. But if you are using any other client, then you need to use the grant type as the authorization underscore code. Okay, so we have the code. Now let's go and press the send button. And this is what you see here. You see an access token. Okay, it is a JWT token. You see something called refresh token also here, right? The type of the token is bearer, expire this, and like this one. Okay, so you can see access token is going to expire after 1 hour. Go to global setting. It's going to expire after 60 minutes, but the refresh token is going to be 1440 minutes. 1440 minutes, I think it may be the 24 hours. 460, maybe, yes. Okay. So now we have both the refresh token and access token. What I'm going to do, I am going to copy this and keep it myself here. So I have a code which is already expired. I have the access token now, the new access token, which is going to be valid 60 minutes, and I have a refresh token. Okay, so now what I'll go to do, I'll just close this session so that there is no user information for this browser, and start a new browser session and access my client and check for the token introspection endpoint, or in short, just use the token because I need not to provide multiple information here. So I will go and take this token, copy, so you can see information came. Okay, now so we have a valid token right now and this token is actually going to expire within this time frame, 3472 seconds. Okay. Uh, so in order to check the refresh token, let's not wait for the another 1 hour for this to expire. What we will do, we will just go ahead and try to refresh token. So you can refresh token. You need not to wait for the access token to expire. You can refresh token before that also. So for this case, I will go and go to this particular link which says the refresh token use once token is received. So I'll go here, and for this I need to provide these information. One is the client ID, another is the client secret, grant type will be refresh underscore token in this case, and it is already populated. Refresh token, you need to get the refresh token which is returned. So you see, and provide this here and send. So you are getting a access token, right? um, I if you see in the beginning, I said that use refresh token to get a new set of access and refresh token. In this case, uh, you have tried to refresh the token, but you got only access token. You did not get the refresh token. The reason is because the refresh token is still not expired and it is valid for the 24 hours. So it will be a kind of a extra steps to create a new refresh token. So when you are sending the refresh token, it is just sending you access token until that particular refresh token is not expired. Then you can use this token now to verify is everything fine or not. So if I use the new token and request token info, I can get the new information of the token. Okay, let's see what happens if I use my previous token. Uh, so this was the initial token. I'm going to use this one now and just see. So for that, let's go and paste it here and try to make the request. So it is still returning the value. I need to check this part. Is it valid or not? So if I use the I need to check this part, but as you have seen, I will definitely check this and put this somewhere in the video, the next videos. But as we have seen, when we made the request, we got only access token, not the refresh token, because the refresh token was not expired. Uh, there is a way you can basically make the IDP to what you say, to always give you a refresh token whenever the new token is generated. So for that, if you go to your client application, that's, I believe that's not a global option. So go to client application and edit and go to token configuration. Where is this value? Okay, in the client configuration, look for the refresh token and select always issue new token. If you select that, then we'll see what it does. Oh, so I have selected, but it did not go to update a state. Select it now. So what happens that its GUI is little bit big for this screen. So what happens that you always press on the OK, but actually you need to do the modify client. You need to bring that slider down and do the modify client. Don't do OK here, because if you do OK here, the control directly goes there. It doesn't modify the client. So click on this. Now it is modified. If you click OK, it will go to the update state. OK, refresh. Okay, so it is refreshed now. Now what you can do is close this one and start the application again. And go to the refresh token. So we have a refresh token which is not expired yet. Go here. Copy. And put this refresh token. Client ID. And the client secret. Okay. And send. When you do that, you are basically going to get a pair of access token and refresh token. So it not only refresh the access token, it also refresh itself. So you are getting two different kind of tokens. Uh, Now that refresh token is, we have a refreshed new token. We will go and check what happens if I use the previous token. I hope I'll not get any surprises. So this token we used to refresh the token and we got the new token now, but I'm going to use the previous token to see if I can again refresh. If I go here, click send, says the refresh token has been revoked. So if once you will use your refresh token to issue a new refresh token, your previous refresh token is revoked. You cannot do it anymore. Okay. So we'll go quickly and check the logs with respect to this. So what you have to do is similar to the previous. Go to your Katina file. Okay, and you need to search similar server has received a request on thread. So if you search, you will keep getting the request. So this is the last token request to refresh the token. It uses the same endpoint. And this is also, this is user info we accessed, user info, token info. Yeah, so endpoint is basically same as the token endpoint, but only the grant type which you provide makes a difference here. So if you go here and see what it does, it verifies the token and later okay, so you can see invalid grant, the refresh token has been revoked. The last operation we did, uh, the log you can see here. Similarly, the working one, we can see this one like this. yes, this one. If we go and see this, generate refresh token success. So this is the success scenario when it has generated the refresh token. So just remember, go to your request and take this particular thread ID and keep looking for that. You will get various of information. If you are in debug mode, it may be very chatty also. Okay. So now we have tested the nidsOAuth to refresh the token. We did the two ways. One by uh, only getting the access token when the client does not have an option of giving the new refresh token every time. The second is to uh, enable the get the new refresh token every time and get a pair of the new access token as well as the refresh token. The last thing what we are going to do is to check the user OAuth, the user OAuth user, what happened to that user, because we have created a something called nids OAuthGrant attribute where we have seen that a scope is stored. Okay, now let's see if there any change in that user thing. So we'll go here and let's go and refresh. So 731 was there when we accessed it the last time. We'll go and reload this entry. And it's taking time. Let's connect again. Okay, go to novel, access manager container, nids, cluster, look for your cluster, and then look for the OAuth container. In the OAuth container, go to here. Okay, I think I'm looking a lot wrong place. I have to check the user, right? So I will go to the user which I have created. So for information, I am using the admin console as the user store. So please don't get confused. In your scenario, it is highly likely possible that your users are on the user store, not on the admin console. Okay, so now you see it's not 700 some byte, it is value 979. Okay, I'm gonna see this value, what is inside it. Okay, let's copy this because it looks a little bigger now, and paste here and see. Okay, so you can see the scope information is there, but other than that, there is something called issued tokens. Uh, what is basically this? So this is nothing but a reference for the refresh token with your access token. So every time you take an access token and it is associated with your reference token, and you will get an entry here. So now I am going to use the refresh token. Yeah, sorry. So you can see here there is a entry comes whenever you enable the refresh token. This entry will not be there if there is if the refresh token is disabled for the client application. So as we have seen that if you enable the refresh token, you will get an entry here related to the refresh token in the user object. So I believe this is one entry per refresh token. So if you're if you have deployed multiple client applications, um, multiple client applications are there, and suppose the user is accessing most of them, you will basically see an entry for all the refresh tokens here. So this particular attribute in future, expect it to grow in a bigger size, and that can bring some kind of slowness when this particular attribute is accessed. So it is always better to keep your refresh token life to a shorter lifetime out. um, and also there was some issues with the sync if you are accessing a user store which has multiple replicas there with it, and uh, in that case there was some sync issue, but those issues are already fixed now. We don't see those issues anymore. So here we end with the session related to the refresh token. So till now we basically learned about the authorization code grant. We learned how to get the code, how to exchange the code for a token, how to get the token and then access the user info endpoint, token info endpoint, token introspection endpoint, and also we have seen the how to refresh the access token using refresh token, and how to refresh the refresh token using refresh token. In the next sessions we are going to work on the other grants, which include implicit grant and the resource owner grant, client credential grant. We'll also going to look for the hybrid flow and OpenID, and all those things will come in the next session. Thank you.